Ooh, something smells delicious.
Well, I was cleaning out the refrigerator and I found this roast in there and I thought this would be the perfect time.
Been a busy lady.
Have you finished with all your business?
Yeah, Connie's left.
I'll set the table.
Wait a minute. Let's relax for a minute, huh?
No, I can't. I have to toss the salad and I'm going to make a vinaigrette dressing.
Look, you didn't have to do all this.
No, I didn't have to, but I wanted to.
Look, we can go out and eat.
Normal people don't go out every night of the week. From now on, I want us to have a normal life.
Yeah, I can see that. You're determined with a vengeance.
It's okay to work hard.
Yeah, especially when it takes your mind off things.
Robert, sit down.
Don't you have a dessert to make? Maybe a fridge to clean out? Or...
Sit. I realize that I may have made the wrong decision. Not about staying. I know that's the right decision. But about not telling you what happened when I met with Luke yesterday.
You don't have to tell me what happened.
I can see you've been worried, and I'm sorry.
About what?
For being so wrapped up in myself for the last few days that I haven't seen that my silence was upsetting you. I thought you just would rather forget it.
Look, at this point, nothing you could say could bother me quite as much as what my own mind has been making up about you seeing Luke.
Right. I told Luke that I loved him.
I see.
That's what you wanted to know, isn't it?
I did and I didn't.
You remember you told me that there would be a part of you that always loved Luke because you'd been through so much together, you'd shared so much. Well, there's a part of me that will always love Luke for the same reason. But...
Go on.
But loving him for what we once had isn't good enough. Trust makes love flourish. And our love didn't have any trust. So it would have withered and died. That's why I was able to give it up.
Does that bother you?
Well, endings are always a little sad, but I made the right decision. It was over with me and Luke. I just had to face it.
Are you sure that what we have is what you want?
Robert, we trust one another. And that means that what we have is just going to get better and better.
Trust requires honesty.
I'm trying to be honest.
I know. That's why I have to ask this question, even though I don't want to.
What?
Are you sure that you wouldn't have been better off leaving me as well?
Why would you think that?
Even though Luke is out of the picture, you still have some unresolved feelings towards him. Maybe living under the same roof as me is only going to complicate that.
Staying here with you is truly what I want to do.
I love you, Holly. But knowing that you didn't feel the same way would make me very uneasy.
I know that. And you've been so patient with me. I just ask that you can give me a little time to get over all that's happened. I just need to regain the balance of my emotions, my feelings. If you could just wait, trust me. I know that you and I can build a life together. I want to.
You can have all the time you want. I am just grateful that I've got you back again.
Here we go. I just know she's going to love to hear from me.
Hello?
Good morning, Connie. I need to get you over here, darling. I just received some rather interesting information.
WSB?
Would I wake you at this hour to give you a stock report?
What's the word?
Not the kind of thing I'd like to discuss over the telephone.
I was afraid of that. Okay, I'll get dressed. I'll be right there.
And I'll put on some coffee.
Sounds like we're gonna need it.
This is your idea of right away? It's almost 11:30.
I was delayed.
Aha. Well, it's a good thing it was important. Otherwise, you might not have showed up till next week.
Well, I'm sorry. But as I was walking out the door, I got a phone call from the WSB.
Oh, yeah.
And I decided to take it.
Of course. And what ensued or followed was a 5-hour telephone conversation. That's got to be a record.
No, actually, it was rather short and to the point. But you see, as I was going back out the door, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. And I simply had to, that woke me up, and I simply had to have a shower and spend a little time putting on my face.
Come on, Townley. Since when does vanity come before duty?
It always has, Robbie. Especially when I have to face you.
Give it a rest and let's have some coffee.
So, what is it you have to tell me?
I've been doing a little homework.
Gerald?
Not directly. I've been doing a bit of checking on a person that Luke's just hired for the Greenwood Casino, a guy called Barney Axelrod.
What about him?
Well, I don't know exactly. Something's not right.
About him or his boss?
Does it matter?
I'm listening.
I put this guy through the computer. It would appear in the last 5 years he's worked at about, well, several different casinos.
Experienced.
Yeah, but in what? 3 of those sites have been marked for enemy activity.
The plot thickens.
Well, what do you think?
Coincidence,
Possibly.
but not likely.
Morning.
Well, barely.
Oh.
Hi. Did we wake you?
Oh, no, I've been up for hours. Coffee.
Please, have a seat, love.
So, what's going on?
Oh, a bit of WSB business. What have you got planned for today?
A wedding?
Oh, I almost completely forgot.
You and Usher.
Good thing you reminded me.
Well, it's nearly noon. Celia should be here any minute. How about if I make us some lunch?
Sounds good. You hungry?
Oh, I'm starved. Breakfast was the one thing I didn't have time for this morning.
Stay and join us.
Well, I don't want to impose.
Oh, it's no problem. Just don't expect much.
Thanks. I'd like that.
Good. Okay. Well, when Celia arrives, send her in.
We will.
Oh, it was delicious.
Really was.
Well, not bad for an improvisation.
Too bad Celia missed it.
Yes, I'm beginning to wonder about her.
No, I wouldn't worry.
Well, Celia has a certain flair for getting into trouble.
I'm sure she'll be on her best behavior today.
One would think so.
You don't.
She should have been here ages ago, at least called.
Probably got a lot in her mind.
True.
Maybe she's summoning up the courage to run off with another guy.
Well, speaking of running off, I'm going to do just that.
University?
Right. I want to keep a close watch on Gerald's office while he's attending the wedding.
Good. I'll be keeping a close eye on him at the wedding.
Oh, that covers that. Thank you for lunch.
You're very welcome. You must come back again.
I'd like to. Everybody have a good time at the wedding.
You know where to find me if anything happens.
Look, don't get up. I ought to know my way out by now. Goodbye.
I think I'm going to call the Quartermains and see if Celia has left yet.
She's probably on her way.
I hope so. Ah, that must be her. I'll get her.
Mrs. Scorpio,
Yes?
this is for you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm supposed to wait and deliver something.
What's that? Problems?
Yes, I don't think so. I'm running late at the hairdresser's. We'll dress at the chapel. Please give the messenger my wedding gown and accessories. Monica will be at the chapel to help me. Get ready. See you then. C.
Plan B?
Just like Celia. Okay, I've got it right here.
Right.
Be careful with that.
I'm delivering this?
Yes, to the St. Barnabas Chapel. Do you know where it is?
Oh, yeah, they told me down at the office.
Okay, well, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Don't get lost.
I'm going to go upstairs and get ready. I want to be early to the chapel because I think Celia is going to need a little more help than Monica can give her.
I'd like to stop up at headquarters if we have the time.
Well, we don't want to be late.
No, we don't.
Robert, we're going to have to hurry.
Well, look, I know we're running late, but not that late.
Yes, but Celia is going to need me. There are so many last-minute details to take care of, and I want everything to be perfect.
Anybody think it was you that was getting married?
Oh, it's exciting, don't you think?
Very.
I am a little nervous, but only for Celia. It is her day.
You may not be wearing the wedding dress, but you're going to be the most beautiful woman there.
Thank you, kind sir.
Just calling the shots as I see them.
Ready?
Let's go.
Wonderful.
I hope Celia won't be angry. I promised to help her with the dress and veil.
I thought Monica was supposed to be helping her. She's probably waiting for a cue as we speak.
Oh, Commissioner. Commissioner.
Excuse me.
Do you mind if I talk to you for a minute?
Not at all.
Tell me, are you here professionally or socially?
I'm here strictly socially today. To be with, it's one of those cameras. To be with Celia and Graham. Excuse
Oh,
me.
great.
I'm gonna go.
Of course.
Go.
So I'm told. Excuse me, time to go to work.
Okay, fine. Hello.
Splendid without that,
You really you. Oh, so do you.
Let me show you this one.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry we were so late. Robert had to stop by headquarters.
Oh, no, that's no problem. You haven't missed anything.
Well, I thought you might need my help.
No, everything has been done.
She got dressed all right, then?
Who? Celia?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I have no idea.
What do you mean?
Ah, I know that she happens to be sitting out in your car waiting for the rest of the guests to get in the church.
What car?
Your car?
Celia's not in our car.
Celia isn't with you.
No.
This way.
Where is she?
I thought she was with you.
Holly, Celia was supposed to go to your house to get ready, come with you and Robert in your car to this church.
Right, but I got a note.
Well, I got a note, too.
I don't like the sound of this.
It makes two of us. Look, my note said that there was some problem with her wedding dress. She was going to Delphina's, and then she was going straight to your house to get ready.
My note said she was having trouble at the hairdresser's. We're going to come here and get dressed with you.
Oh, dear Lord.
Monica.
Oh, Louise. Oh, it's so good to see you again, and Cousin David.
Hello, Monica.
Hello.
It's been too long.
Much too long.
Everything all set for the big event.
Well, we certainly hope so.
Where is Celia?
She's on her way.
Oh, she must be beside herself.
Yes, well, she's not the only one.
Pardon?
How are your accommodations?
Oh, lovely. The Harbor Towers is marvelous. We're so pleased. Thank you so much for making those arrangements.
Oh, no problem. I'm just glad that you were happy with them. Where's the rest of the family?
Oh, they'll be along shortly.
Well, good. In the meantime, would you please sign in?
Hello, David. Please,
Oh,
how are you?
Alan, you're looking well.
Thank you. You too. Can I show you to a seat? Ah, it's still early. Would you like to go out on the lawn? Maybe you can catch a glimpse of the bride
Oh,
on her
yes,
way
let's
out.
do. I'd love to catch a glimpse of Celia.
So would I. I don't know what's going to happened to her?
No idea. I hope she's all right.
What I don't understand, Holly, is why did we get two completely different notes?
Well, she's trying to put us on the wrong track.
Or someone else is. I don't have a clue. What is this?
Oh, am I glad I found you.
What's all this?
It's all yours.
What happened?
Oh, this just ain't my day. I ended up going to the wrong church. I mean, the pastor freaked. I guess he thought I forgot about a wedding or something. Anyway, I
Yes,
made
here,
it finally.
Robert.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Sacristy.
Right.
I hope I didn't mess things up.
Who told you to pick up that stuff from my house this morning?
Some guy.
What guy? Describe him.
Oh, medium height, brown hair. He looked kind of tough, but he was wearing work clothes.
Jimmy Lee.
Well, at least the dress got here. We just had someone to hang it on. I don't know. I just saw Robert
I
with
know.
a wedding dress and veil.
Any sign of Celia?
No, she's not here.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Oh, there he is.
Not down, not down, not
What?
Look.
Long Island.
Oh, just what we need.
Alan, let's get him into the church as fast as we can so Monica and I can talk to Jimmy Lee.
Right.
That's perfect.
Why did you go with Monica? She take you up to the church. How nice to see you. Why don't you go right on in? These ceremonies will start any second.
What are you doing? Don't stop here!
Well, I thought you were getting married.
Oh, I want to go to the police commissioner's house first. It's just down the street, just about a mile, right in the main square.
Well, I know where it is.
Well, then why are you stopping here? Let's go. Come on.
Well, ma'am, I don't have a license to be carrying passengers in a neighborhood like this. You better just step right out of there, little lady.
Give me a ride.
I've got to get on down to the
No,
office.
wait. No, you told me that you were... No, wait a minute.
Are you all right?
Just get me out of
Here, to get dressed in the sacristy. Where are your clothes?
Believe it. I was kidnapped.
Why who? Jimmy Lee?
No. I couldn't sleep this morning, so I took a walk, and this man suddenly jumped out of the bushes, grabbed me, threw me in his car, and sped off.
Sure it wasn't on a motorcycle?
Explain. Try and get everybody back inside and calm them down.
Everything's fine, Alan.
There's no cause for alarm, everybody.
The bride is fine. If we all go back into the church, I think that the ceremony's going to start shortly.
What happened to the bride?
Well, I don't know. She just had trouble with her hair.
Hair, the
well, you know
feathers,
how
the
difficult
blanket.
it is to find a decent hairdresser
Oh,
these
my
days.
lord, you...
Madam, why don't you go in and get a seat? We can chat after the ceremony.
Well, we certainly will.
If you don't mind, I'd like to hear the rest of this story.
Look, Grant, we have to get her ready. The wedding,
If the two of you don't leave, there isn't going to be a wedding.
Huh?
Feathers? I don't... What? I don't believe this.
What is going on here?
Well, I assume you saw Celia's arrival.
Yeah, a chicken truck. I mean, an actual truck with chickens. And the girl herself, what was she wearing under that blanket?
Not much.
Well, we've got to do something about this. Now, where is Grant?
He's in there.
In the sacristy?
They wanted to be alone.
Well, he's probably going to kill her.
First, he wants to hear her explanation.
I'm going in there.
No, you're not. Oh, no, you're not. No, this is between Grant and Celia. We are going to let them alone, let them talk. Come on. Grant.
The wedding's off.
What?
Get her washed up and dressed.
What do you mean, get her? Are you sure?
Just get her dressed.
All right, let's go.
What's happening?
Look,
Is the
Grant,
wedding
let me
off?
take care of Grant. I'll get him back.
It wasn't my fault. I didn't want to go. He made me go.
Grant will understand.
No, no, he won't.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Edward is talking to him right this minute, I assure you, and everything is going to be just fine.
Why don't you just sit down here?
Oh, yes, right. Here, sit down.
Oh, hey now, is this any way for a Quartermain bride to act? Now, come on, cheer up. I mean, all the guests are already patiently waiting out there on the lawn. We're going to go ahead with this wedding just as soon as Grant returns.
He won't come back.
Yes, he will. Don't be silly. No, Grant adores you, Celia.
No, not anymore.
He was just surprised. You can't blame him for that. As soon as he's had a chance to think, he'll be back.
Well, yes, absolutely. Now, Grant would never walk out on you.
No, he won't. He won't. Now, just give us a hand here, please. Sit down. We're going to make you beautiful, lovely. Yes, he will.
Exquisite about how...
Don't step on the train, please.
Are you two about ready?
I've been waiting for ages.
Holly, help. Here. Oh, thank you. Get that.
Husband and wife, and you may kiss the bride.
Well, you're up early.
Morning.
Why didn't you stay in bed a bit longer? We had a late night last night.
Unfortunately, that doesn't make all the errands I have to do today go away.
Forget about all of that. Spend the day with me.
I'd love to, but you know what they say, putting off to today what...
All of those things you don't want to do anyway.
Well, if I don't do my errands today, then what do I do?
Talk to your husband.
About?
All right, let's pick a subject. There's the economy. There's the yo-yo craze in Bulgaria. There's the platypus races in Ballarat.
How about Celia's wedding?
That's certainly topical.
I thought it was, unusual.
My kind of turn, lots of booze. What about this Quentin character?
A true Quartermain, I'd say.
Oh, haven't he toasted that guy propose?
I think he was just glad to get the whole thing over and done with.
Yeah, I think we all were, considering the fact that it almost never got started. What happened at that church?
You saw, didn't you?
Well, Jimmy Lee got a smack in the mouth, I suppose, from the groom, presumably for reasons of jealousy.
Right. Celia was once interested in Jimmy Lee, but it was just a fling. And apparently, Jimmy Lee couldn't take no for an answer.
Well, I guess he'll have to now. She's made her choice clear to one and all.
What does that mean?
What?
You said that Celia has made her choice clear. Are you implying that I haven't?
Oh, come on, what is this? It was meant to be a joke.
But what were you implying, Robert?
Look, I wasn't trying to draw any comparison here. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry.
Your choice is clear to me. That's all that matters.
I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have snapped at you.
I kind of liked it.
Really?
Sort of like pinching oneself to make sure you're not dreaming.
I'll have to remember that. Anyway, the important thing is that Celia and Grant are married and they're safely in each other's arms.
And you're all through.
What's this one?
Iron, very important.
Then how come you didn't have one?
I took the lecithin.
Oh. Well, what happened to the days when all the vitamins came in one pill?
Be a good girl and take your pill for Robert.
Yeah, so much for breakfast.
Feeling healthy?
Very.
Yeah. Good. And now I can take you on your daily jog around the park.
Right now?
Well, when you've changed.
Then, can I have a real breakfast?
I will even cook.
What about the dishes?
I'll do them too.
Are you feeling all right?
Never felt better.
Then I'd better hurry up and change before you change your mind.
You better. Expecting anyone?
No, you?
Let's see who we've got. Professor, this is a surprise.
Glad I found you in.
Is something wrong? A security problem?
No, no, no. I'm here as Grant's best man, delivering a little something he asked me to deliver.
Oh, what's this?
A gift from Grant to his ushers. They usually hand them out at the bachelor party. But since Grant didn't observe that tradition, I'm delivering them now.
Please, come in and sit down.
How thoughtful of Grant.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, very thoughtful of you too, Professor. I mean, I'm surprised that you would take time off from your work for this.
Yes, well, I rather surprised myself a bit. But you know, I've gotten very fond of Grant.
Yes, well, he's certainly fond of you.
I know. But I was very surprised when he asked me to be his best man.
You knew each other before Port Charles, though?
Oh, very casually. But since coming here, he's turned out to be quite a friend. In many ways, he's like the son my late wife and I never had.
Well, I think we're all rather fortunate to have Grant's friendship.
Do you know Celia well?
Oh, yes, I've known her for a long time.
She seems a very nice girl.
Very nice.
Grant hasn't brought her around much, but I'm sure he will now that they're married.
Well, we must all get together for dinner.
Oh, that would be very nice. I hope you don't mind the odd number at the table. Since my wife passed away, I've been a bit of what you might call a loner.
Believe me, we understand. Odd numbers here are no problem. We're rather informal.
Good. Then we must do it very soon. Well, if you'll excuse me, I think I must be getting back.
Your work, of course.
Yes, very exciting, now that I'm coming to the end.
Yes, well, no one's going to be happier than I when you're finished.
I know what you mean. Well, you have your present, and I'll be thinking of that dinner, Mrs. Scorpio.
Well, as soon as Grant gets back, we'll start making plans.
You two have a nice day now.
You too, Professor.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice enough fellow.
Certainly fond of Grant.
It's good he has someone. He seems sort of lonely. Anyway, I'll get into my jogging suit.
I'll be in the comm room.
Should we go?
All right, how many miles?
3?
Sounds about right. Don't think I like the sound of that.
Should we be out?
Business hours, bring him on. Scorpio.
Yeah, hello, Robert. This is Mark Dante.
Mark, how are you?
Well, at the moment, I'm faced with an emergency.
Medical?
Yes, I'm trying to track down Grant Putnam before he leaves for Chile on his honeymoon. He's desperately needed for an emergency surgery here.
Okay, what can I do?
Well, I was thinking about that computer of yours. You couldn't check with the airlines about who's on what flights, could you?
Sure, I have direct access to, well, all New York State manifests. What airline's he on?
Oh, so I don't know.
Okay, well, there can't be too many going to Chile. Let's see what I can come up with here.
Well, shall I call you back?
No, hang on.
I should be able to do it right from here. Let's think. He'll be going from New York. Well, let's try Kennedy first. Right. Okay. Hang on. Coming up. We have 2 flights. One at noon, one at 8 p.m.
Uh-huh. Why don't you try the noon one first?
Okay. Nope. No Putnams.
Uh-huh. What about the 8 p.m.?
Hang a go there.
Bingo. We got lucky. I think, yeah. Dr. and Mrs. Grant Putnam.
Well, I assume they're holed up in a New York hotel somewhere, then.
Probably.
Can you help me?
Well,
I'm sorry, but I'm really not tied into hotels. Take too long. Only your transportation manifests. Look, if I can make a suggestion here.
Please, by all means.
Try the Quartermains. If anybody would know where they are, they would. All finished.
Good. Now we can go jogging.
I don't see why not.
Finally.
Yes?
Oh, no, not again.
I'll get it. I'll get it.
Scorpio.
Yeah, hello, Robert. It's Mark again.
Any luck with the Quartermains?
No, I'm afraid not. That's why I'm calling again. Look, Robert, I know it's asking a lot, but is there any way you could start checking hotels for us? You got much better facilities, and if you could.
Yeah.
No problem. I'll get right on it, Mark.
There's no chance Celia mentioned to Holly where they were going?
Well, I already asked, and she doesn't know either. Look, I'll get started on these hotels and then get right back to you.
Right. Thank you, Robert.
Sure thing.
Well, I'll go and change out of my jogging clothes.
We'll do this first thing in the morning.
I'll be sure not to quote you on that.
Okay, Hal, let's try with the 5 stars. I say, what is all this?
The end of your workout and the start of your dinner.
That looks like, it smells like, it quesadillas.
And margaritas. We couldn't jog together. We barely had 2 minutes to talk to each other today. So I think the least that we owe each other is dinner together.
I agree.
So let's go into the living room where it's more comfortable.
Let's do it. Oh, no.
Couldn't you just be off duty?
I don't think so. Scorpio. Alan, what can I do for you? You don't say. Yeah. No, I'll take care of that right away. Thank you.
Alan, Quartermain?
It would appear that Grant and Celia may still be in town.
Oh, hiya, Commissioner.
Where you off to, mate?
Oh, it's just on my way home. You know, my shift's over.
Listen, put in for some overtime. I want you to get out to the airport with a motorcycle escort. There's a Dr. Grant Putnam on a commuter flight out of Kennedy. I want you to intercept him, take him to General Hospital. It's a medical emergency.
Well, what if he refuses, sir? You know, doctors sometimes do that. Well, say he's not on call or whatever. It happens to be
Look, I tell you what, tell him it's his piano player friend, Chris. You won't have any arguments from him.
I'll get right on, sir.
And call me back with the results.
Right.
Now.
Well, I'll put the
No,
back in the freezer.
you stay. Don't you dare. You stay right there. This will take like this.
Yes?
Natalie Dearborn, please.
This is Mark, Robert.
It's Robert here, Mark.
Yes, well, what's up?
Good news. We may have located Grant right here in Port Charles. I'm sending a police escort out after him right now.
Oh, that's great.
What's the status of Chris?
Well, he's being prepped for surgery now. Dr. Chu, Grant's replacement is scrubbing, but I'll tell him to hold off.
Well, we'll have your answer pretty shortly.
Well, I'll be standing by. Thank you, Robert.
Now, I say the magic words, hi-ho silver, and hang on, voila.
Oh, Robert, I'm impressed.
Oh, you ought to be impressed. It's an airline ticket. Now, a few more magic words here. Let me think. Doesn't matter. Voila, 2 airline tickets.
Well, this is getting better and better, except I've no idea what you're talking about.
Fly with me, fair maiden. Let me take you away from all of this. There's a song that sort of goes, I like New York in June. The next part of it is, how about you? And I've just asked it.
Are we going to New York?
Just a couple of days. Hey, come on, look, let's face it. We could use the break. But anyway, before you say no, let me tell you all the wonderful ideas I have in mind.
I can imagine.
All right, to start with. A couple of Broadway shows. Dinner at Lake Club. But before all of that, a nice little trot around Central Park in a hansom cab. Then dancing at the top of the world. The A1 Deluxe Tour all the way.
Oh, it does sound lovely, Robert.
Guaranteed. Deal?
Well,
Wait. I did leave out one itty-bitty detail.
What?
I'll reserve a 2-bedroom suite for us so that you'll have the same privacy there that you have here.
Sounds wonderful.
Come on, I think we could use them. We've got to get away from here. The pressure, everything. Have I missed out any details?
No, I can't think of any.
All right, now, here is the pièce de résistance. From here on in, right at this second, I'm going to sing to you the entire 74 versions of New York, New York in Mohican.
In Mohican? Surprise!
Well, what is this? You look like the cover of a travel magazine.
Is that good?
Very good. And they look great.
I decided we really should have a set of matched luggage, sort of his and hers.
Does this mean what I think it means?
It might.
That we can take little trips and often?
I think we should make it a regular habit. How often is often?
As often as I can get away?
I'd love it. You know, I'm really excited about this trip to New York.
I'm glad. Do you think that it, might take your mind off things?
Now, that is a loaded question.
Deliberately, but only if you want to answer it.
Robert, there isn't anything that we can't talk about, including Luke.
Think about him.
Not as much as you think. Maybe now is a good time for me to explain something.
Only if you want to.
No, I want to. Just because you and I are not totally back together again yet doesn't mean that Luke is on my mind.
I like your use of the word yet.
What?
You said that we aren't totally back together again yet. That means that it's possible.
Yeah, I suppose it does.
You know, I have a philosophy.
You have lots of philosophies.
Mm-hmm. But this one pertains just to you and I.
Oh?
Sometimes I think I pressure you too much. You know, it's, Holly, how are you? How do you feel? Is it him? Is it me? Is it someone else? Do you want to talk? Etc., etc. Well, I think I'm pushing you a bit too much.
Not really. If you have a question on your mind, you shouldn't hold back.
Well, you see, that's where the philosophy comes in. I think I've got to give you more room.
What if that's not what I want?
Normally, I'd ask you what you want. But you see, this is part of the philosophy. From now on, I'm going to let you come to me. When you want to, and when you're ready. In short, what I'm trying to say is that I understand what you're going through.
You know, you really amaze me.
Come on, tell me, is it the superior powers of reasoning? Is it the cute smile? Is it the piercing blue eyes? Come on.
No. It's your sensitivity. It's really incredible. Sorry, I shouldn't go on like that.
Only if you mean it.
I do.
Holly's upstairs, but if we're very lucky, she may make us some coffee when she comes down.
Well, I can't stay that long. I just wanted you to know that I got a security job at the casino.
I'm pleased.
Yeah, so am I. It's going to be a little tough, though.
Problems?
Well, not special problems so much, but, well, they're much farther along with the renovation than I ever expected. I'm definitely going to be burning quite a bit of midnight oil to get this job done.
Okay, if you have any problems, well, I'm here.
Well, thanks. I think I can handle it. Of course, it will mean having to work right on the site with Jimmy Lee and his crew. Look, I better run.
You and the old JL have apparently hit it off.
Darling. But then, so's Luke. You know, I feel rather like the prom queen.
Oh?
Well, come on. Two gorgeous men vying for my attention. You know, Luke really is wonderful.
Obviously.
And of course, there's Jimmy Lee, too. My champions, curly and blue eyes.
You're happy, I'm happy, then with you.
You know, I am happy. I have to admit I was a little disappointed when I struck out with you. But it's nice to know I can still command a little bit of attention.
You always could.
Especially from Luke. Oh, he is a charmer. Look, I gotta go. Tell Holly I say hi.
I will.
Okay.
That was Connie.
I know.
You can't let on to anybody that she is working for the WSB. You understand that?
Yes, you told me.
Holly.
What?
Look, I'm sorry to have to bring this up. The only reason I'm doing it is because of your expression.
Ask what?
Earlier today, you said that Luke was totally out of your thoughts.
Yes, I said that.
You also said that if I ever had a question, I should come out with it.
Right.
Is he completely out of your thoughts?
Yes.
Sure.
Robert, please listen to me for once and for all. Luke is not on my mind. Ever.
Ah, there they are. Well, let's go.
I hope this doesn't turn out to be an adventure in boredom.
Oh, here you are, Edward, Monica. Hi, good to see you. Glad you could come. I don't have to introduce you, darling.
No, of course not.
Commissioner, how are you?
Again.
Fine, thank you. You, of course, know Professor Gerald.
Yes. How are you?
Yes.
It's a good to see you.
Please, let's all sit down.
Well, I assume Grant is going to be here later.
Oh, here he is now.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, Grant.
Sorry if I kept you waiting. Hello, darling.
Anybody notice the traffic on the way over? It's the worst I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty busy outside the hospital, too. Has anyone ordered a drink yet?
I know I haven't.
Oh, we're waiting for you, darling.
Oh, that was very sweet of you. Waiter, anywhere around? How about my bride here? Isn't she glowing?
He's right. You look wonderful.
You both do. If I didn't know better, I'd say that you are already on that honeymoon.
Well, Robert, we have been. Every night.
Waiter.
Well, at least everyone's recovered from the wedding.
Yes, and even Quentin seemed to be sort of back to normal when he left.
Yes, poor Daddy. I think it was quite a day for him.
I believe it was quite a day for all of us.
The end result is all that matters.
We're married.
And obviously very happy. An ingredient in marriage I found most important.
Well, I'd propose a toast to the bride and groom. We seem to be having trouble getting a waiter over here.
Waiter.
Good evening, Commissioner. Mrs. Scorpio?
Can we order a drink?
Of course. Madam?
Chablis, I think, here. And Scotch rocks for myself.
Monica?
Ah, Chablis.
Some club soda.
Scotch rocks?
And you, sir?
A dry, very dry gin martini with 2 olives. And as fast as you can.
Yes, sir, right away.
Well, I'm sure Edward's feeling a lot better right now.
Must have been the traffic.
Where are Alan and Lila? Oh, well, Alan had to go to a seminar at Johns Hopkins, and Lila had an emergency meeting with the Historical Society.
Was that the same medical seminar you were invited to, Grant?
Yes. Don't anyone ask me how I got out of it. My nose might start to grow. I have to admit, though, I really had hoped to attend.
Well, we've all made sacrifices for this wedding.
Yes, I know, Doctor. And we're so sorry about you having to take time off from your work.
Surprised myself, come to think of it. I've always been called a workaholic, you know. But Grant here is a real friend. And friends are who we make sacrifices for. So my work can wait while I enjoy this evening with my special friend.
Thank you, sir.
No thanks are necessary. Your friendship, and yours too, Celia, that's what I value most.
The bartender must have had to look up how to make a martini.
Edward, it will be coming very shortly. Will you please relax?
Here's the waiter now.
Call for Dr. Putnam. What about my martini? I'll get your waiter for you right away. Must have had to send out for the olives.
Yes, this is Dr. Putnam. Oh? No, I see. No, don't be silly. I understand. Thank you for calling. No, I'm sorry, everyone. It looks like I'm going to have to leave.
Oh, can't someone else handle it?
It's Christopher, darling. Evidently, his hand is very swollen. He's unable to move it, and he's in a great deal of pain. I better take a look.
Well, we'll hold down the fort for you.
Yeah, you'll probably be back before my martini arrives.
I'll come with you.
No, you stay here and attend to our guest. I'll take care of Christopher. I doubt if it's anything very serious.
We won't order it until you get back.
I insist that you don't do so. You go ahead and order, and I'll get back as soon as I can. Now, please. I'm very sorry, darling. Everyone, I'll see you shortly.
Hope so. Well, I'm looking at the face of a doctor's wife. administration, forlorn, and hopefully forgiving.
Well, I can't say I wasn't warned. Somehow I didn't expect it to come crashing down so quickly, though.
I never expected it to take so long for my martini to get here.
Well, are you happy now?
Mm-hmm. As soon as I have another. Waiter, may I have another martini, please?
Those hors d'oeuvres will be coming any minute.
I hate to start without Grant being here.
Well, then there's a good possibility we'll all starve to death. No, really, trust me, Professor. I happen to know that if you're called to the hospital for one emergency, you end up getting stuck with at least 7.
Yeah, well, it's the same with me at headquarters. If I get a chance to work at home, I'll do it.
Not that I enjoy having him underfoot. I was just going to ask you about that.
Well, I know how Lila hates it when I stay at home. You know, I think that's how country clubs got started. A
Yes.
place to send husbands on their day off.
Absolutely. Sort of a adult daycare center.
Come on, not that I'm there, Lana.
The exact opposite.
Oh, no, I don't believe that.
No, it's true. He includes me in everything. His exercise workouts, his morning jogs.
Well, I really prefer swimming to jogging. There's less chance of injury.
Yeah, well, the trouble is it's all that water, you know. I mean, it makes you wrinkle and you come out looking like a prune.
Now, there's a question for you, Professor. You fellas are doing all these wonderful things, but what are you doing about wrinkles? Is it about time you started thinking about reversing the aging process?
Oh, we're all working on it. But I'd say we were about 1,000 years from any significant developments.
Oh, well, that's a bit longer than I have to wait. Now, here is a discovery that I have always enjoyed. The perfect dry martini. You fellas can do all the studies that you want, but until you come up with a secret like this, a work of art, to the simple pleasures.
And to our bride and absent groom, two of the luckiest people that I know. Not because they're successful and moving up in the wealth, or even because they're starting a new life, but because they found each other. And they're...
And they're two of the happiest couple that we've seen in a long, long time. To the bride and groom, a long life and a happy one.
Here, here. Thank you.
Don, it's kind of crowded here tonight. Why don't we go somewhere else?
Oh, what are you kidding? This is perfect, this place. Especially when you pull some weight with the maitre d'. It's like a home away from home for me.
I know. I just think it might be more comfortable.
Barbara,
Barbara,
this is fine.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah, I love this place, don't you?
Yeah, but it would be just as easy to go.
No, I don't think there's any reason at all why we shouldn't stay here. No reason in the world.
Okay, you think so?
I know so, babe. I know so.
Right this way, Mr. Brock. We have your usual table ready.
Swell. Ladies and gent.
Well, I must say, this is delicious.
Well, this was your suggestion, Monica.
Well, actually, it's one of the few things on the menu I haven't tried yet.
Personally, I've always found zucchini to be quite a common vegetable. You know, like the pea and corn. Bland and quite common.
Try it, Edward. No, really, try it. The stuffing is absolutely marvelous.
Professor.
Are you all right?
Must be something in the... I'm so
Are
sorry.
you all right?
I must know. What about the stuffing?
Waiter. Could you tell me what's in the stuffing in this, please?
Yes, a marvelous combination of herbs, vegetables, and spices. all
Wait, look,
topped-
hold it. I don't want a chemical analysis. I want to know what specifically is in it.
Well, let's see. Onions, bell peppers, and mushrooms.
That's it. Mushrooms. I'm allergic to them.
What can we do, Professor?
I must take my pills.
Where are they? We'll go. Look, maybe you should just go right to the hospital.
No, I have some back at my lab. It's not far. I'll just drive over, take
Maybe
one, I'll
one
be
of us
fine.
should go with you.
Yes.
No, Robert, I'll be fine. Please, continue with your
Well-
dinner. I'll come back in just a few minutes. Excuse me. Awfully sorry.
Well, maybe I should have them move us to a smaller table.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We're beginning to drop like flies around here.
No, I think we should just get on with our dinner. They'll both be back before we know it.
Well, I'll just set my zucchini aside for Grant.
I'm so sorry it's all turned out this way.
Oh, don't be silly. It's not your fault.
Personally, I'm having a wonderful time.
There, you see, the party's a success.
So much for timing.
okay?
Yes, fine.
Someone who didn't like the zucchini, you've certainly done a good job.
Well, hunger does odd things to a man, like making him eat food he otherwise would scoff at.
Let's just hope the main course is just as good.
You're having the duck, aren't you?
Yeah.
Ah, the orange sauce is out of this world.
Oh, good.
Order it often, do you?
No, I do, and he spends the evening stealing bites.
I generally order the scampi.
Sounds like you eat here quite often.
About twice a week.
Grant and I should eat here more often. I just wish he was here now. Ah, remember what I told you? He's probably bumped into 7 more cases.
He'll be back as soon as he can, I'm sure.
Well, meanwhile, if you're not going to eat that zucchini...
Edward!
Well, it's a shame for it to go to waste.
It'd be more of a shame if you just lost all your manners altogether.
Well, they don't mind, do you? There, you see? I'm not the only one who worries about the poor starving children in China.
Have another martini, Edward.
I think I will. Waiter.
Oh, I'm going to the ladies' room.
Well, if you run into a waiter on the way, would you please send him over here?
This guy's walking his dog, and as he's walking his dog down the street,
Excuse me, I'll be right back. You're going to miss the punchline.
I've heard it 4 times. One for every time I've heard the joke.
But you haven't heard me talk.
Holly, hi. Look, I have to warn you.
Oh, I know. Mushrooms in the zucchini, right?
I'm sorry?
Oh, it doesn't matter. You said you had to warn me about something.
Yeah, it's essential that we don't know each other.
Essential to what?
To Dr. Gerald's protection. We've got to always act like strangers in front of everybody.
No, I already know that. Robert told me.
You did?
Yes, and I promised not to tell anyone.
It really is important. Look, no matter how close you are to someone, you can't tell them. Now, as for Luke, I don't know how you feel about it.
Luke's business is his, and yours is yours, and it's all irrelevant to me. So, excuse me, I'm going to the ladies' room.
Excuse me, love. You wouldn't have a dime on you, would you?
Paper right?
Yeah, I guess so. I want to call Gerald. I want to do it from the table, just in case there's a spot of trouble.
Boy, I am sold on that duck.
Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah, rarely have I had it so tender.
And the sauce is just wonderful.
Celia, you haven't touched your food.
Well, I'm just not very hungry. Translated, meaning we're worried about Grant? Well, he would have called if he was going to be this long. No, not necessarily. If he had to go into surgery, there are no phones in OR.
But Chris's hand was much better.
Oh, well, that has nothing to do with it. It's a very delicate situation, and anything could happen.
But someone would have called, wouldn't they?
No, not unless Grant told them to call, and if he was in a hurry, he barely had time to scrub, let alone make a phone call to us.
Well, why don't we order dessert and coffee while we're waiting, huh?
What do you mean? You're not having another martini?
After dinner? Never. Brandy has a nice ring to it, though.
Good thing you're driving, Monica.
I hadn't planned on it, but now I am.
Having 2 doctors in the family, I know how difficult it can be.
Excuse me, Edward. Since when have Alan and I been an inconvenience to you?
Oh, the missed dinners, the ruined parties. How about that time at the club that Alan was supposed to make the keynote speech and I had to do it because he was called away?
I heard you were wonderful.
Yeah, well, that was only because I had no choice. It was either that or be blackballed back to the YMCA.
Well, if he doesn't get back very soon, we're going to miss our plane.
Your plane?
What plane?
Well, didn't you know we're leaving for Chile tonight? And we had planned to be done with our dinner and at the airport in plenty of time, but I'm not so sure anymore.
Can I make a suggestion? Why don't you call the hospital?
Let me do it.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that's a good idea. Waiter, could we have a telephone at the table, please?
Of course.
Edward, if you realize this is the first time you've gotten a waiter's attention.
How about that? Usually, like wives, they're only around when you don't want them.
Here you are, sir.
Oh, it's for him.
Thank you.
I'd be happy to make the call.
No, please, let me do it, please.
Main desk, Mrs. Brewer.
Robert Scorpio here, Jesse. Look, I'm trying to locate Dr. Putnam.
Dr. Putnam, the last time I saw him, he was with Natalie.
Well, look, could you maybe page him or ring his office?
I can do better than that for you. Natalie, here she is right now. Hold on. Robert Scorpio.
For me? Are you sure?
He's looking for Dr. Putnam.
Oh. Thank you, Chester. Yes, hello.
Natalie, Robert Scorpio here.
Yes, you're looking for Dr. Putnam.
Yeah, well, I'm with his wife now, and she's a little concerned about him. I mean, he was called away to the hospital over an hour ago.
Yes, well, he got terribly tied up here. As a matter of fact, he had asked me to call you at the restaurant. He's going to have to go directly to the airport, and he would like Celia to meet him there.
I see. I hope it was nothing serious.
No, it's all taken care of. And you will tell Mrs. Putnam?
Right away. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
He got tied up, but he asked me to tell you to, well, he'll meet you at the airport.
Oh, well, I'll have to go back and pick up my bags then.
Well, don't worry, we'll drive you.
Of course.
Oh, what about Dr. Gerald? I almost forgot about him. He's been gone an awful long time.
Yeah, longer than he said he'd be.
Don't worry about it. Edward, you and I will go over to the office and we'll explain that the party's over. I'm sure I'll see you.
Wait a minute, what about the check?
I already took care of it at the first phone call.
Oh, well, thank
That's my pleasure. Come on.
Thanks, Robert. That's awfully kind of you.
You owe me one.
I wish I had remembered to bring the plans with me. That way I could have gone over with you exactly.
Now boarding Gate C, Flight 94 to New York's Kennedy Airport.
All right. You've still got 5 or 10 minutes.
Listen, and don't worry, if you miss this one, there'll be another shuttle leaving in an hour.
No. Our flight to Chile leaves in 2 hours. We'll never make it.
Oh, good. I caught you.
Professor!
What are you doing here? Forgot all about going back to the restaurant. There was this equation that I've been struggling with. I finally came up with a solution, but it involved a lot of complications.
Grant didn't call you, did he?
No, but you might have tried. I had the phone off the hook. Why, you mean he's not here?
We don't know where he is.
He was supposed to have left the hospital a long time ago.
Well, how much time do you have?
Final call, Flight 94 to New York's Kennedy Airport. Now boarding Gate
Robert.
C.
Maybe you could talk to the airlines and pull the weight that you have as police commissioner.
Oh, but it'd have to be a police emergency.
You could try.
Oh, please, Robert.
Here he is. Am I in time?
Oh,
I'm sorry, darling.
Really?
Story's so long, we'd miss our flight for sure. Well, you've got about 5 or 10 minutes, maybe, at Gate C, straight over there.
You better hurry.
No problem. Professor, I hope all goes well with your project.
We'll talk when you get back.
We certainly will. Hey, come on, you two. Come on, go.
Okay, bye, everyone. Bye. I always get sad in airports. I wonder why that is.
Well, goodbyes are always sad, Professor. They're always sad. From now on, I think we should take the limo.
Right, too bumpy for you.
Too fast. Next time the limo, huh?
As you wish. I'll check the messages. No lights, no messages.
You were hoping for one from Connie?
What makes you say that?
I saw you sneaking a couple of glances in that direction tonight.
Purely accidental. I hope you're remembering to keep on pretending you don't know her.
I haven't forgotten. Can't resist a little curiosity, though. Do you think her interest in Luke is professional or personal?
Well, where Connie's concerned, all personal interests are professional. Does it bother you seeing them together?
Not at all. Luke's life is his own. He can do exactly what he wants. I'm happy right here.
Really?
You know I am.